Hello, welcome to our Toronto, and I'm your host, Tony. Toronto subway cars are aging, and the question of whether they need replacement or can continue to serve for an extended period is complex. Currently, the Toronto Transit Commission operates two main types of subway trains: the T1 series, which runs on Line 2, Bloor-Danforth, and the newer Toronto Rocket trains, which operate on Line 1, Yonge University, and Line 4 on Sheppard. The T1 cars, which date back to 1995, are now close to 30 years old, and are the ones in more pressing need of replacement, while the Toronto Rockets, introduced in 2010, still have a long service life ahead. Toronto's T1 subway cars, first introduced in 1995, formed the backbone of the TTC's Line 2 Bloor-Danforth and represent an essential piece of Toronto's transit history. These cars were built by Bombardier at their Thunder Bay plant, part of an effort to modernize and expand the TTC's subway fleet as ridership continued to grow. The T1 cars replaced the earlier M1, H1, H2, and H4 models, which were gradually phased out between the late 1990s and early 2000s. In my opinion, Toronto is at the point where investing in new subway cars, especially for Line 2, is essential. The current T1 trains are reliable by aging transit standards, but they lack the efficiency, accessibility, and technological advances of newer models. Here's a closer look at why the T1 cars need replacement, the current state of the fleet, and the potential benefits of newer subway technology. The TTC has recognized the need to replace the T1 cars and is currently working to secure funding from all levels of government for a new fleet to serve Line 2. This replacement is estimated to cost upwards of $1 billion, with a target to introduce new cars in the early 2030s if funding is secured in the coming years. These new cars will likely incorporate modern design standards, accessibility improvements, and energy-efficient technology, including regenerative braking. While T1 trains have proven robust, there's a tipping point with any aging fleet, where maintenance costs start to skyrocket. After about 30 years, subway cars tend to require more frequent repairs and experience increased downtime. Each year, the TTC has to spend more to keep these older trains operational, which takes a toll on the overall transit budget. The T1 cars are also less energy efficient compared to newer models, which result in higher operating costs over time. Continuing to pour money into these old trains, when they're becoming more expensive to maintain, could end up costing more in the long run than investing into new ones. While the T1 fleet has been generally reliable, time is taking its toll. At nearly 30 years old, these cars are reaching the end of their expected service life, with wear and tear impacting their performance and maintenance requirements. The TTC has invested significantly in upkeep, but maintaining aging subway cars is costly and complex. Mechanical issues, such as those involving the propulsion and braking systems, are more common as parts wear down. The TTC's maintenance team faces rising costs for spare parts, some of which are no longer manufactured, making it challenging to keep these trains running efficiently. Beyond the maintenance challenges, T1 cars fall short in meeting modern accessibility standards. Unlike the newer Toronto Rocket trains, T1 cars lack full accessibility features like dedicated spaces for mobility devices and better door designs for easier boarding. The absence of open gangways also restricts passengers' movements between cars, making it difficult to distribute crowds evenly, especially during peak hours. Accessibility is a huge factor here. Unlike the newer Toronto Rocket trains, the T1 cars don't feature fully accessible features, which can limit access for riders with disabilities. Modern subway cars often come equipped with improved safety and accessibility features like larger doorways, low floors, and better accommodations for mobility devices. Toronto is aiming to become more accessible, and this outdated fleet doesn't align with that vision. Replacing the T1 trains with newer, more energy-efficient models could significantly reduce the TTC's carbon footprint. The newer trains use regenerative braking, as I just mentioned, which converts kinetic energy back into electricity, cutting down on energy consumption. Older trains don't have this feature, and their heavier construction tends to consume more energy overall. This is a notable concern in Toronto's climate action goals, which emphasize reducing emissions. While retrofitting older trains is an option, it's often less cost-effective and sustainable than a full replacement. Funding is always a consideration, but fortunately the TTC has already been exploring options for replacing the T1 fleet. Plans have been in the works to secure funding from all levels of government to procure a new fleet of subway cars for Line 2, with a projected cost in the range of hundreds of millions. Delays in securing funding could push back the replacement schedule, which would mean sticking with the T1 trains longer than ideal. Additionally, new train orders have long lead times due to manufacturing and testing, so any delay in decision-making only prolongs the period during which Toronto relies on aging infrastructure. In my opinion, holding off on replacing the T1 fleet is more a delay tactic than a solution. Toronto's transit system is one of the busiest in North America, and maintaining reliability is crucial for the millions who rely on it. Replacing the T1 cars would not only bring modern features and improve efficiency, but also support the city's accessibility and environmental goals. Continuing to use the aging T1 trains would ultimately mean higher maintenance costs, more frequent breakdowns, and a transit experience that falls short of what a modern city should provide. New subway cars will have higher upfront costs, but they will save money on repairs, lower energy use, and align with Toronto's mission to become more accessible and sustainable. While the older trains can theoretically be maintained for longer, the trade-offs in reliability, costs, and other experiences make it clear to me that replacing Toronto's aging subway cars, especially the T1 fleet on Line 2, is a necessary and strategic investment. With smart planning, Toronto can make this transition smoothly and prepare the transit system for the city's growing needs. The TTC has issued a request for proposals for 80 new trains designed to offer more reliability, energy efficiency, and updated safety features. To increase service frequency and efficiency, the TTC is working on implementing ATC on Line 2, similar to the ATC currently in place on Line 1. This will require compatible trains and infrastructure. While the replacement trains are expected to be delivered in stages, the full rollout may extend into the early 2030s. The TTC anticipates the initial rollout of new trains to happen by 2028, with testing and gradual replacement thereafter. With these upgrades, Line 2 will see smoother, more reliable service through budget approvals, and manufacturing timelines will impact the exact rollout. I hope that you liked the video. If so, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed and want to be notified of new videos that are released, please click on the Art Toronto button here. This is the video that I would recommend for you to watch next, and I'm sure that you're going to love it. Here's the playlist for all of the latest in transit news and views that you're going to find very informative and interesting. And finally, here is the latest video. Thanks for watching and happy transiting.